Welcome back. Now, we're about to talk trash, pardon the pun. The Johannesburg Waste Summit kicks off today. Joburg is fast running out of valuable landfill space. Well, the summit will focus on the diversion of general waste away from landfills through waste treatment and recycling technology. Well, let's talk more about this now. We're speaking to MMC for Environment, Infrastructure and Services, Matshidiso Mfiikoe, about the summit. A very good morning to you, MMC.
Morning,
Thank you again for joining us. The issue of landfill space running out, how serious is that problem?
Very serious, my sister. We have 12 years left of our current landfill sites, and we're running out of space for landfill sites. So the summit is meant to drive us into finding solutions in how we're relating to waste and separating it at source.
I know you did mention separating at source, and we'll go into that in detail in just a moment. But I want to talk about the various waste treatment and recycling efforts thus far, and whether or not South Africans are buying into it. Are we a green nation?
We are gradually becoming a green nation, but not at the level where we want it to be. That is why, as the city, we said through the GDS 2040 strategy, we want to manage waste differently and introduce the separation at source principle. What we're going to do, the separation at source, will give households receptacles, 3 receptacles, one for wet waste, the second one for paper, and the third one for bottles, plastic bottles, where people can take to our buyback centers, and there they can get income out of selling the recyclables. So I think in 3-4 years' time, dependent on how people understand, and for us it's important for our communities to buy in, understand that in 12 years we won't be having any space where we'll take their waste to. So they must help us in ensuring that the program kickstarts. We launched it in October last year. We're hoping that in 3 years' time, all houses in the city of Johannesburg would be separating at source. Then we're introducing technologies about how do we manage waste that is there in our landfill site. So tomorrow we'll be focusing on using technology in the management of waste and ensuring that we are able to get energy out of the landfill sites that we're having.
Let's talk a bit more about the buy-in from South Africans. Do you find that it's more prominent in more affluent areas as opposed to maybe the townships, for example?
For me, it's more about education and awareness. We're finding that in affluent areas, they have been separating at source, probably because they've had resources, they've had the know-how. So what we're needing to do now is to focus in our low-income areas so that we entrench the understanding, increase the awareness, go in with education as well as providing proper support. Hence, we are introducing cooperatives into the whole regime of separation as well, so that the cooperatives manages their own waste in different wards that they would be, or different areas that they would be. Education remains critical. Knowledge, information sharing remains critical for people to know the impacts, the effect that waste is having on the environment in general. So once we get that right, we will be able to get the necessary support from our community.
I also want to talk about the health impact of waste. For example, if you travel into Soweto via Roodepoort of Florida, you pass Murray Lewis, and on a foggy day, the smell, the stench, how does that affect the communities, which are mainly poor usually, around the area there?
It does affect them. We're getting complaints about the effect the smell has on them. Mary Louise is one of the projects where currently we're piloting separating at source and ensuring that we generate energy from, so that we manage methane. The smell comes from the gas methane. So there's a waste to gas energy program that is happening at Mary Louise. So it must tell us as we roll out the technologies as to how effective it is and how we are going to sort out the other landfill sites from the lessons we're getting from Mary Louise. So it's more compacted, and the methane is underground. So what the company that we have been appointed is taking it out, then hopefully we'll turn it into usable gas and energy as well.
And we will catch up with you to find out how that project is going as time goes on. Thanks again for your time. MMC for Environment, Infrastructure and Services, Matshidiso Mfiikoe.
News that moves. eNCA.com.